Now, as a shaman, I'm very fortunate because I have a number of shamanic colleagues, and we share experiences, and sometimes we share techniques and skills. So one of my shamanic colleagues is called David the Shaman Chef. He tends to turn his shamanism primarily to cooking, and he does also a very specialised form of Reiki called Sekhem Reiki. Now, he had his teacher come from America to do some workshops, and he did cooking at the presentation weekend and also took part in the workshops. On one of the workshops, this Sekhem Reiki teacher said, "I've got two particular beings that would like to work with people on this planet, and their names are Pendle and Nemeja. They don't actually exist in this galaxy, they come from somewhere else. I don't know where they come from, but I just know that they are willing to be on this planet and work with anyone who's willing to work with them." So David the Shaman Chef said, "Definitely, I'm going to work with them," and so he chose to work with them. Well, only a matter of weeks after I'd been working with him, he came to visit me, and he told me all about Pendle and Nemeja. He said, "Would you like to work with these characters too? Let's see whether they'd be willing to work with you. I don't know. All you can do is invite them, and then they'll say yes or no." So we both got into a trance state. I tuned into them, and immediately I could see them very, very clearly. Now, I'll describe their appearance to you as I first saw them. They were wearing what looked like uniforms. Their faces were completely covered in what looked like shields, basically a shield like that and a shield like that. The colour of the uniforms was blue, except they had yellow patches on their chests, and the shields either side of their face were a golden yellow colour. And these definitely seemed like uniforms. They were very delighted to work with me, no question whatsoever. And the very first contribution towards my work was to introduce the chakra seals, which we've been using ever since. That was the very first piece of work they chose to share. And if that was all they'd done, I would be so grateful, but that was only the beginning. I am absolutely amazed by how much they've done with me. Quite a short time after I started working with them, they had two other beings they wanted to join together with and work with me as well. Now, I'm not allowed to reveal the names of these two. They're the only beings I work with I can't share the names of. And it's only fairly recently I've understood why. Now, this is going to sound like a rather strange thing. On the planet Earth, a person's name is very important. Everyone I've ever known in my life has had a name, usually at least two. If you're Portuguese, you have at least four. Well, when you leave this Earth and you go into the realms of extraterrestrial beings, generally speaking, extraterrestrial beings don't bother with names because they can't see the point. So these two simply don't deal with names. Now, Pendle and Nemeja, because of their connection with many human beings, felt the need to be identified by name to make it easier for us to associate with them and respond to them. The other two, they don't want to mess about like that, so they just simply don't do the whole name thing. This brings us up to our location. Whereabouts are they to be located? It was very, very clear right from the beginning they did not actually live in this galaxy. Now, that's quite a big statement, because up until this point all my guides that I'd been working with, all 7 of them, all are very much based upon this planet and around this planet. But these 4 beings are not. They don't even inhabit the Milky Way, they inhabit a neighbouring galaxy. And it was quite some time that I had no idea whereabouts it was, until I did some very special work with one of my clients, and she had been working with beings from their neck of the woods for many years of her life, and she was emphatic about where they came from. She said they come from the Andromeda galaxy, which you can see if you look up into the night sky, especially with a telescope. You look into the constellation Orion and you'll see the Andromeda galaxy. It is many, many, many light years away from the Milky Way. That might bring about a question. So, if you're working with beings that come from a galaxy outside the Milky Way, how on earth do they get here? It would be an obvious question to ask. It's many, many light years away. Wouldn't that take too long? Well, the answer is no. And this is what's quite funny, really, because we tend to think of things with our very limited perceptions in this world. Now, for a human being to travel just from here to, say, the nearest planet like Mars, that's going to take a long time using a conventional rocket. What you have to understand about these beings is they step outside of space and time instantly whenever they do their work, just the way the shamans do. So they can literally instantaneously move from the Andromeda galaxy to this planet just like that. However, That's not actually how the work is done. When I do universal soul retrieval for a client, what used to happen in the very earliest days is they used to manifest a craft, and the craft would arrive on the planet in the location where the client was. So supposing the client lived in Liverpool, then the craft would arrive in their bedroom in Liverpool, and we would escort the client's energy body into the craft. The craft would take them instantaneously to that other galaxy. Well, they don't bother with that anymore because they don't need to. I think it's all been a matter of easing me into the work gently, so now all I have to do is to think of the person's name, think of the location. Instantly that person's energy body is transported through space and time instantaneously to this place where all the healing is done. The universal soul retrieval healing is all done in one location. I call it the orange room because it's a space like a room. It's brightly coloured orange. Now the planet that these beings live on is certainly an eye-opener for me. Sitting here on this planet, the sun that's in the sky, we call it the sun, also known as Sol. It's our sun and it's yellow. So that's the colour of our sun. Well, their sun is not yellow, it's orange. It's somewhat larger than our sun, considerably older, and it's a really rich orange colour. So when you see sunrise on their planet, the overriding colour sensation you get is orange. So inside this room, this healing room, that's what the colour is, it's orange. It's a very special room because it can actually change its size and its shape at will, which is very useful. In the fullness of time, it will be possible to treat many hundreds of people with the universal soul retrieval all at the same time. These beings are all ready for this work to be done. They're ready to work on hundreds and hundreds of human beings at the same time. Now, all we have to do is we have to wait for enough people who would like soul retrieval done at the same time. We're all set up, we're all ready, we can do this work. At the moment, because it's so new, we have small numbers of people interested, so we have to just bide our time and be patient. But it's very gratifying to know that there are many people that could do with entities removed. There's many people could do with having their lost soul parts returned. All the technology is there, all the beings are there, the healing space is there, everything is there, ready and waiting for people as soon as they choose to have the work done.